Welcome. We're live, dude.
Welcome
Yay.
to Combination.
Yep. Hopefully, if you're here tonight, you're ready to embrace the chaos.
Right.
Good evening.
Evening.
Welcome to Combination.
Yes. Thanks for coming.
For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome.
And for those of you who have been here before, thank you for coming back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
One thing we keep saying at Combination is that, yes, we are trying to make every show better and better and better.
We're trying to make
So,
the show better and better and better. We are. Really. We're trying.
no more Zoom codes, y'all.
Yeah. Going forward week after week, you just need to show up here, wherever here might be.
Yep. You can follow our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Right here below us. Yep. You can go to the combination.com website, sign up for the mailing list. Or
Yep.
email
And
us.
you can like this video. You can like it on Facebook. You can like our Facebook page.
Or you can do all of those things because overkill's nice sometimes.
We could use a little overkill.
Yeah. We'll feel the overkill love.
But we're coming back to this, and we will continue to come back to this as long as you keep showing up. So keep showing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Feel free to invite your friends, your family, colleagues, and coworkers.
Yes.
Combination is always designed for all fan levels.
Yes,
So our goal here at Combination is to educate, to illuminate, to entertain. And sure, it helps to know everything about everything, like Todd, but
our questions are multiple choice, so you can take a chance, get lucky, and have some fun.
And learn some stuff. So tonight we are talking about, or at least our questions and our illustrations are centered around Moon Knight from the Dead. So Moon Knight from the Dead was written by Warren Ellis. illustrated by Declan Shalvey, and originally published in 2014.
Yeah. Well, the Moon Knight's not the better-known Marvel characters. Some folks can come along and might have actually known him from his Moon Knight series, now debuted on Disney Plus in the last month, starring Oscar Isaac, who you might recognize from Star Wars, one of the X-Men films, a number of other actual Oscar-worthy performances, along with May Calamé, F. Murray Abraham in an interesting little role, Ethan Hawke as one of the possible antagonists, and a slew of other interesting characters along the way as they jet set.
Now, the Moon Knight show was originally announced in 2019, although there were rumors of a Moon Knight TV show in development for years, even before that.
Yeah. And according to the internet, and we all know the internet's never wrong, the Moon Knight series was licensed for production in Japan in the late 70s and early 80s, but that was instead serialized as a manga.
Because a manga TV show, that's sort of the same thing, right?
Sure.
Moon Knight has been in a slew of animated series, including Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. The episode was The Moon Knight Before Christmas. Yeah. He was in the Avengers Assemble miniseries and the 2017 Spider-Man animated series. Right. That guy. If you're thinking, oh, wait, yeah, that's the guy.
Right. So you probably heard of him. And if you think he's interesting, you should learn and read more about him. But not before.
Not before.
We do our fun little game.
Moon Knight's first appearance.
What was he in? Was it Moon Knight #1?
No. It was Werewolf by Night. Now, Moon Knight was created by Doug Mensch and Don Perlin. And the character first appeared in Werewolf by Night in August 1975, which was number 32, 35. Werewolf by Night. That much I know.
Yeah. 32 through 35, actually, because he was introduced as this character brought forth by a sinister cabal called the Committee that wanted to capture the werewolf.
The Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Get it?
And what do werewolves like? They like
barbecue.
That too.
Oh,
but they're always howling at the moon.
Yeah.
That's why he was a Moon Knight, because he's the Knight of the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah. And the story proved popular enough that editors Marv Wolfman and Len Wein decided to give him his own solo story in Marvel Spotlight 28 and 29, where his first appearance was retconned later on. And he was introduced.
Yep.
Yeah.
And an interesting little character was born. Now, Moon Knight has an interesting mental health challenge.
Mm-hmm. To be specific,
so Moon Knight has dissociative identity disorder. And dissociative identity disorder, DID. Well, dissociation is a coping skill. It disconnects traumatic memories from someone's consciousness. And therefore shielding them from the traumatic memories and the pain and the fear, etc., that come with trauma.
people with DID have 2 or more personalities, and these personalities control their behavior at different times, each identity with its own personal histories, traits, etc.
Yep. 2 identities. One can have different ethnicities or consider itself to have different ethnicities, different genders. One can have a British accent.
One can have an American accent.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
the identities can be known to one another. So there can be an inner dialogue, and what is known, by one identity, for instance, an encyclopedic knowledge of ancient Egypt, can be accessed by other ones.
Right.
Absolutely possible if you really have DID.
Right. Which is one of the things they handled well in the TV show.
Yeah. Now, and DID used to be referred to as multiple personality disorder, split personality disorder, but no. Currently, we're calling it dissociative identity disorder. And Todd, for no additional points, can you name me the DC character who also has DID?
Rose Forrester.
Yes, of Rose and Thorn.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In her case, she only has 2 identities.
Well,
At least
there's not a quota.
Right. No.
Now, Moon Knight's core identity, which is the official terminology for it, I'm told, is it's not Mark Wachowski, although that would have been awesome. It's Mark Spector. Now, Mark Spector was a boxer, he was a Marine, and a CIA operative. He's had a lot of really good training. He's ready to be that superhero. Mark is always portrayed as being from the Midwest, and he enlisted in the Marines and served for several years. Previous to joining the Marines, etc., he had experienced childhood trauma. So it's not a situation where the Moon Knight thing made him crazy. He was having some mental health challenges before.
Yeah. Part of his life for a while.
So, and by his second tour in Iraq, his superiors began to notice his increasingly bizarre behavior. And yeah, he was dishonorably discharged, became a mercenary, and then other stuff happened.
Right. But you should read the books to find out.
Now, who isn't a Moon Knight alter ego? It's Jack Batlin. Jack Batlin isn't an alter ego of Moon Knight. He's an alter ego of
Matt Murdock, otherwise known as Daredevil. There's a time where Matt Murdock's identity as Daredevil is outed, became well known, so he basically faked his death, set up an alternate identity, called himself Jack Batlin as kind of a nice little tip of the hat to his father, who was a boxer known as Batlin Jack Murdock, and used that alternate identity until he could clear his name and reestablish his own persona as Matt Murdock again.
Yeah. But that was Daredevil, and Daredevil is different. Although still in the Marvel Universe, and maybe they share a psychiatrist. Now, Moon Knight got his powers from... Who was that?
One of those strange and unusual characters.
From Khonshu. Now, Khonshu is an actual Egyptian deity who is the god of...
The moon.
Yeah, so you saw that one coming. Khonshu is also, in addition to being the god of the moon, he is the god of fertility, and he is the protector. He's the god of the passage of time and the protector of travelers.
Yeah, especially travelers at night.
Yeah, funny how that would work out. Now, Spector was in the desert. He was left for dead, but he somehow managed to reach a statue of Khonshu.
Yes.
And soon after, Spector started claiming that Khonshu wanted him to be the moon's knight. And also known as the left hand, or the fist of Khonshu.
Yes. Basically his avatar.
Mm-hmm. Now the story was that Khonshu wanted Mark Spector to redeem his life of violence, and be someone who was out there aggressively protecting the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, early on, the take was that Moon Knight was just insane, but ultimately, it was revealed that Khonshu is real, and one of the several entities from the other void.
Yes.
So then Spector decides to turn his life around, come back to the United States, and become the crime fighter. Moon Knight.
Right.
As you do.
As you do. When you're given that second chance.
Moon Knight's superpowers include what? It's not stealth, because Moon Knight very famously wants to dress all in white so the bad guys can see him coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's not flight, because he glides along.
And he has a cool helicopter too.
And it's not lunar vision. That's a power that Sailor Moon has, and I'm reasonably sure that Moon Knight and Sailor Moon are never, ever teaming up.
No.
But what he does have is resurrection.
Right. Because Khonshu basically helps him out so that if he does actually get seriously wounded, mortally wounded, as it were, killed,
a couple of times,
Khonshu has the power and the ability to resurrect him, bring him back so he can continue to fight as long as he stays Khonshu.
You know those jobs that you keep just for the fringe benefits?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
It's like that, pretty much. And it's been said over years that maybe he also gets a little extra strength when the moon's at its full apex, as a full moon versus a 3/4 moon. But that's just...
But yeah, the one thing for sure, you don't want to mess with Moon Knight during his time of the month.
No.
Now, Todd started talking about it, but this is where we talk about science. The moon has how many primary phases in a lunar month?
Dust off the science books, kids.
4.
Yes. Which kind of makes sense, because you get...
Yeah. Depending on the math, you can, and depending on how you splice it, you can get a higher number, but it's 4 primary, although 8 total phases of the moon cycle. 4 primary and 4 secondary.
Right. Because the first quarter, the second quarter, the full moon, the last quarter, where it waxes into a crescent and wanes into a gibbous, and wanes back into a crescent and waxing into a gibbous moon. All just waxing on, waning off.
Give us a break.
Give us strength.
Give us another question.
There you go.
In the comics, Stephen Grant is a... He's not a gift store clerk.
He's not.
Which is what he is in the TV show.
Yes.
So this question makes me think of the Tony Stark line.
Yeah, where Captain America asks him, what is he without a suit on?
Billionaire, genius, philanthropist, playboy.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Grant is none of those things, except maybe billionaire. Right. He's not a genius in that, he's not the inventor. He's not the guy going and designing all of these gadgets that Moon Knight uses, but he is making sure that Moon Knight has the money to buy him.
Yeah. I'd say he's pretty savvy with the investments.
It's like he can do it in his sleep.
I'd take him as my broker if I could get.
Might be tough. He is not a philanthropist per se, but I'm sure he's out there donating. And he's not a playboy. He's never really been portrayed as a playboy because seriously, when could he find the time? But he has been, in certain storylines, he has been portrayed as a member of society and a socialite. And he has occasionally helped Moon Knight bring white-collar criminals to justice.
Yes.
But as we said, in the TV show, Stephen Grant is a mild-mannered British gift shop employee suffering from blackouts and memories of another life.
Not getting much sleep.
Poor guy. Yeah. Now, in the comics, Jake Lockley, he's another one of Moon Knight's personas, and he is Jake Lockley is a cab driver with his finger on the pulse of the street, which sounds really kind of bad. Jake Lockley is very like Batman's alter ego, Matches Malone, if you're familiar.
He was a low-level thug that Bruce Wayne would dress up as occasionally to get info from the seedier parts of Gotham City.
Yeah. Now, Jake Lockley goes and he connects with the people on the street, the people who aren't going to talk to the cops, the people who would probably be unnoticed by your average superhero. And his job, what he's done is he has developed an information network of informants and spies.
Yeah. I don't like Sherlock Holmes irregulars.
Exactly what I was going to say. Good job. Now, at this moment, Jake Lockley has not yet appeared on the Disney Plus series, but the internet.
Oh, that pesky internet! It's just all
They say
fire.
He's coming. They say he's coming. So who knows? But if he comes,
will he be driving a cab?
Yeah, I know. What city is this book set in? Moon Knight from the Dead. It's not London.
Nope. It's not Egypt either.
It's New York, baby.
The Big Apple.
Yeah. New York City is the headquarters of the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the Defenders, the New Warriors, the Midnight Suns, and Spider-Man, Daredevil's here, which we mentioned, the Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage and Iron Fist, the Punishers in New York City, Jessica Jones, Doctor Strange. You know, you'd think that Moon Knight should go someplace like Baltimore where they have not so much superhero coverage.
Still a decent amount of crime, sadly. Yeah.
Have that beautiful harbor.
Mm-hmm. Or Phoenix, although you tend to think more of a sun person for Phoenix, I guess. But
there you go.
Maybe Rock and show up there.
According to this book, Moon Knight from the Dead, Moon Knight has just moved to New York from
Egypt. No.
It's not Phoenix.
Right.
It's Los Angeles.
Yeah. Which Mark's been there a number of times. As a matter of fact, Mark's first appearance, quarterback in Werewolf by Night, he fought the werewolf in Los Angeles. So.
Yep. He's also was a member of the West Coast Avengers. He seems to be a very bi-coastal superhero. He doesn't have just one city weighing him down. He's wherever he needs to be, including Egypt, the Sudan, and
maybe even London.
Currently, yeah, not so much in the books, but yeah, the TV show is set in London.
Yeah.
But in this book, he's in New York City. Who is Moon Knight's ally on the NYPD? I really, really wish it could have been Detective Chimp, because that would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And equally awesome would have been Detective
Jim Corrigan?
Corrigan, yeah.
Also known in the DC parlances as the Spector, because then he'd have that hooded white ghost-like character along with the hooded.
You think they'd
white
have to call and confirm? Now this is this is something because people just sort of use Moon Knight and Mr. Knight interchangeably, and that is wrong.
Right.
To sort of quote from the book, Mr. Knight is working with the NYPD. He's not Moon Knight. He is a mask-wearing, dapper, well-suited, concerned citizen and crime consultant.
Yes.
To quote the book, and to quote Detective Flint, if that man were identified by the name of a dangerous vigilante, Moon Knight, then I'd have to follow a very specific set of standing orders and restrain him using whatever force necessary.
Right.
So,
but since he's not Moon Knight,
but Mr. Knight,
he's just a helpful guy helping us out. Kind of like a consulting detective with a group of irregulars going around the city. Wait.
But different.
I swear I've heard that before.
Now, Flint has a very specific task force.
Yes. And they're called.
They're the Freak Beat, y'all. Not to be confused as that subgenre of British rock and roll music developed by the harder driving groups during the swinging London period of the mid to late 60s. No, this is not music. This is crime.
Right.
Night Force is a DC team founded by Baron Winters as a force against supernatural threats.
Hence night. Different type of night, but still night. Yeah.
Task Force X is the
official name for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And the Scoobies, come on, the Scoobies were the support team for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, including Xander, Willow, Cordelia, Oz, and Spike.
Yeah.
Not so much Angel. He was a little problematic. He was not a team player. Midnight's exploits are followed by Joy Mercado.
Mm-hmm.
So Joy Mercado is a blogger and a reporter for the Daily Bugle, which is currently viewed as a website, right?
Yes. And a site for blog news, yes.
Exactly. Now, Joy Mercado is an ambitious reporter for the Daily Bugle. She at one time was dating other Daily Bugle staffer. What was his name?
One of the photographer kids, Peter Parker. Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
And Joy and Peter actually both at one time were working with J. Jonah Jameson at Now Magazine.
Yeah. And chased around and stalked another hero named Spider-Man around the city for a while. So
yeah. But even though Joy's got this huge, robust Spider-Man history, she was actually created as a Moon Knight character. But she does not have the same close interpersonal relationship with Moon Knight that she does with Spider-Man or Peter Parker.
Yeah.
She just covers the freak beat.
Yep.
Now, we mentioned that Moon Knight was an Avenger. What number Avenger was he?
What point did he sign on? Officially take the charter.
His employee ID number.
Exclusive group.
So, okay. Count it with me. According to the comics, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Hulk, Thor, and the Wasp were the original Avengers. Not according to the MCU, but.
Right.
Then Captain America joined after he thawed out. After that, Hawkeye joined, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, as well as Hercules, Black Panther, Vision, Black Knight, Black Widow, Swordsman, yes, I know, Mantis, Beast, Moondragon, Hellcat, Wonder Man, yes, I know, the Two-Gun Kid, Captain Marvel, the first one, Falcon, Tigra, She-Hulk, the other Captain Marvel, Star Fox, Submariner, Dr. Druid, Mockingbird, War Machine, The Thing, and Moon Knight. Now, I realize that Wonder Man and Swordsman both initially joined separately, but initially both joined the Avengers under false pretenses, but eventually they came back and were able to be
actual
Avengers. Yeah. Yes. But yeah, according to the various storylines and whatnot, Moon Knight was Avenger number 24.
And he's worked on both coasts, both regular Avengers and the West Coast Avengers, whatever else they've called him. Because once an Avenger, you're always on the roster. So.
I like the Avengers. They get paid.
They do. They get a stipend.
Exactly.
Nice work if you can get it. For extra no points, do you remember what the stipend is?
No, but I remember it comes from the Maria Stark Foundation.
Yes. Established by Tony's late mothers.
Right, established by Tony in memory of his late mother.
Late mother, yeah.
So again, tonight we were talking about Moon Knight from the dead. If you're just becoming familiar with Moon Knight because of the Marvel Disney Plus series, we recommend that this might be a book that interests you.
Yeah.
So the official blurb goes a little like this. Mark Spector is Moon Knight, or is he? It's hard to tell these days, especially when New York's wildest vigilante protects the streets with two-fisted justice and three, that's right, count them, 3 different other personalities.
But even with the mystical forces of the Egyptian moon god Khonshu fueling his crusade, how does the night disgraced detective save a city that is as twisted as he is?
Yeah.
The road to victory is going to hurt.
Yeah, Moon Knight gets a lot of bizarre mysteries that he is uniquely and fabulously well prepared to handle.
Yeah. Ghosts. Mob
travels to a mushroom graveyard planet. You know, who hasn't wanted to do that? As we mentioned, Moon Knight was written by Warren Gerard Ellis, who...
An English author of comics, novels, television, as well as known for a social, cultural commentary. His online presence and his writing covers all sorts of interesting cryonics, nanotechnologies, mind transfers, etc. Yeah, exactly. Fun stuff.
It was illustrated by Declan Shalvey, who is an Irish artist best known for his work on this book.
Right. But he's also worked on other Marvel titles like Venom and Deadpool, and Conan for Dark Horse, Northlanders for DC, and he and Warren are also working on their own project called Injection to be published by Image Comics. Yeah.
And the players, J.J. Everly is number 1.
Woo woo!
With
Nice
Paul
job, JJ.
and Tom. Welcome to the nation.
Yes.
So that's our show for tonight. Thanks for spending time with us. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes. Be sure to give us your thoughts and comments and suggestions via email on the lines below and YouTube.
Like, follow, subscribe. You know the drill. This is not new. The fun thing is, we're going to come back next week. We hope you come back next week.
Absolutely.
But if you can't make it this next week, we're going to have it recorded. If you want to share it with other folks later on, this will be recorded, etc. And we always say this, but just to rehash, we don't do this for the money, because we don't make money, and anytime we actually make money, we give it to charity. We are in this
for the fun of the comics, because we like the comics.
We love comics, and we like the books that we're talking about, and we hope you like them too.
Yes.
And
just be sure to check them out. Visit your local comic store, visit the library, go to Comixology,
Hoopla Digital. There's all sorts of places. If you like the show, tell your friends. If you don't like the show, tell us. If you've got suggestions for books or characters or something you'd like us to dig into, let us know.
Absolutely.
And above all, have a great week and be excellent to each other.
Yes. And read more comics.
Absolutely. See ya.
Night all.